The complete seal out tutorial for FC25. The most effective defending technique will be broken down into 6 segments. Its settings, advanced and tactical defending, how to perform seal out, locking on, side-by-side defending, and using it with other techniques, including the approach, back off, and approach technique, and the zigzag. And I would like to add, I am coaching one-on-one, so if you want to be a part of that, the link is down below. I've taken people from the low divisions to elite in a matter of a month or so you can check it out. The link is down below and work one-on-one with me. Firstly, to the settings, you need to activate this in your controller settings. If you don't, tactical defending will be your setting to use whilst you're defending the FC25, and that's not what you want, because we're after that advanced defending setting where you can activate seal out in defensive situations. It is very, very overpowered if you can utilize it in certain situations. And if you actually compare the two in terms of advanced versus tactical defending, with advanced defending, you can utilize seal out, which incorporates tapping the X button and then tapping the circle button as the player gets close to the attacker on the ball, and it will lock on the majority of the time, and it's a good way to line your defender up with the attacker. But when you look at tactical defending, this requires a lot more manual defending in your approach. You need to use the techniques like the zigzag technique, like the approach back off and approach technique, but you don't have the help of the seal out where you tap X to lock on to the attacker. So that's why you need to have advanced defending set to on in your settings. Now, how to perform seal out. When you are about to approach the attacker on the ball, you're wanting to tap X so that it will line the defender up with your attacker so that he won't overcommit and miss in the tackle. He will actually lock on and you will feel it in game where the defender will very quickly approach the attacker on the ball, and once he gets close to the player on the ball, you need to press tackle, only because we can't rely on the AI movements of the seal out to tackle for us. We need to press tackle to activate the tackle animation, and you will come out with the ball. Now, in terms of locking on, there will be times when you're sitting in your position in your hole with the defender and you need to wait for that moment to lock on, whether it's a large touch, whether it's a dribble that sort of takes it out of his control, or any time that you think is a viable time to go in for that tackle. And that's usually when the attacker is facing you with the ball. You need to then release L2 and R2, which you would be using if you were jockeying in that position, and run straight towards the attacker on the ball and press X so that he will line up. From there, you can press tackle and come out with the ball. Now, in terms of side-by-side defending, seal out is so effective when you're running side-by-side with an attacker in behind with the defender and you want to use your shoulder to nudge him off the ball. If you've got a big centre back and you're running against an attacker, it will be very effective to use in these situations. When you're side-by-side, you tap X, they'll get their body in the line and they'll win the ball. It's very effective in side-by-side situations to defend in FC25, and you definitely need to use this technique when you're trying to defend in counter-attacking situations. Last but not least is utilizing the seal out technique with other defensive techniques which I have taught on the channel, including the zigzag technique and the approach back off and approach technique. You can use seal out to compensate and be complementary to those defending techniques. For instance, the zigzag technique. That allows you to move your defender in a way that lines up with the attacker so you don't go too far to a side. As you know, the zigzag technique is when you use the left stick and you move back and forwards very quickly, very light on the left stick, and the movement with your thumb so that the defender will come side by side but not go too far to each side to then line up. You can then utilize seal out with this technique to assist you even further in lining up the defender to then come out with the ball. And the same goes for the approach, back off, and approach technique. You can approach in, you can then back off with L2 and R2 to buy time, and that's the whole purpose of the back off, is you're approaching in, you cause the opponent to do something on the ball when they're attacking, and then you back off to buy time, and then you reapproach. This reapproach is when you can use seal out to help you line up even further with the attacker and come out with the ball. It's very, very effective to use when you are defending one-on-one, and you definitely need to start implementing this into your game. So there you have it, a complete guide to seal out in FC25, the most effective defending technique in FC25. I'm coaching one-on-one. You can check it out. The link is down below. Work one-on-one with me, and I can help you with all of the defensive techniques in your game and take you from the low divisions to the high divisions. But more importantly, if you did enjoy this video, you may enjoy this one here.